and welcome to the news that broke glass number 50. Woo! Streamers, balloons. I don't have any, but whatever. It's been a while now. This has been out. It's been like fucking 45 days since I did the last episode. This is the big one, the big 5-0. The reason this has taken so long to come out is I've been very, very busy with other shit behind the scenes. All good shit. You will find out on Friday, which I believe is the fucking 9th of June at 8 o'clock at night, round about 8 o'clock at night. There will be a big announcement from me regarding this channel, regarding myself, regarding various different things going forward. All good stuff, but I am shitting my pants ever so slightly. But you'll find out about that on Friday. The big announcement. Ooh. Anyway, this is a gusset plate that I got from the Rise Extreme Rumble. That's got blood on it from Caden or Jack, I can't remember. They're very, very big fucking gusset plates. They're both stuck in both the guys' arms for a very good death match at Rise when I was down there in Hull a couple of weekends ago now. But anyway, first of all, we will just go into the news announcements. TOS happened at the weekend there. We had Zandig came back. He attacked Nick Gage, or Nick Gage attacked him in a very strange segment at the start. They've got a new fucking building, well, a new room inside the fucking Showboat Casino, which is huge, but it just looks like a big underground car park. The old Carousel Room, where I was for TOS 4, were basically from 4, 5, 6 and 7, the last like 4 TOSs before that were all held in the Carousel Room. The room with the big fucking like the sort of circus tent thing, where a lot of memories have happened. That's where Run Rookie Run was, that's where Matt Cardona won the title, all these different things. That is now a fucking mini golf thing in the Showboat, because the Showboat is, I found out this on the Rob Black show, which everybody should watch and listen to. Well, listen to it. I get it on Spotify, listen to my way to work. Basically, the Showboat is one of the few sort of hotel / casino places that doesn't have a gambling license in Atlantic City, so they're trying to appeal to the kids, family crowd. So they've got mini golf, they're building like a big fucking huge like water park thing beside the Showboat. So it's crazy, so it's a shame that they've moved out the Carousel Room, but they're now into a room called the Terminal, and it looks pretty like bare, but it's pretty fucking big. Pretty sure they said it was the biggest crowd that TOS has ever had. So anyway, Zandig was there, Jun Kasai ran down at the end, Rina fucking won Tournament Survival. Who was my pick to win? It was Rina Yamashita. I didn't win any money on that because I didn't bet anybody, but whatever. And we also had various different things with Cage of Survival. The next night I did watch both those shows live because thank fuck they were on at like 10 PM for us in the UK, which was nice. What else has happened? We have also had the Rise Extreme Rumble. We had all that bullshit with the legal matters, and then they were maybe there was a council were going to be there, and it was very last minute to know if the show was going to go on or what. Anyway, I was there. I was very, very drunk by the end of the show. Thanks fucking Lee for taking me back to the motel, by the way. But a very, very good show. Good to see fucking everybody at Rise. It's one of the best things about going down to England for deathmatch shows, is seeing all the wrestlers, seeing all the fans, and seeing everybody. And having one too many drinks, I think. But it was good to see everybody. What else have we got? We have got fucking Shadow WX is coming on fucking tour to the US with Madman Pondo. They're going to be at XPW's I Hope You Die show in July. They're also going to be at TPW as well. So US promoters is fucking Shadow WX. Like, book him on some shows. Like I just said about XPW and the Rob, there's been so many episodes and so much drama with the Rob Black show, with fucking Brett Lauderdale and Circle 6 and the guy that runs Circle 6 and Atticus Kogar and Eric Ryan and stuff and NHB and all this stuff. So please just go out your way to listen to the Rob Black show. It's very, very entertaining, and it keeps you abreast of the information on a daily fucking basis. It's like fucking like 6 shows a week. Very, very good for my morning commute to work. We also had CXW were running a show in Braintree. Family friendly wrestling, but I mean they had all the fucking main fucking deathmatch guys. They had fucking Lou was there, Brett Semtex, Darwin, the Deathmatch Outlaws, and one of my good friends, his son Little Joe was picked up by Big Joe and used in the match to sort of knock down like Darko and Caden and stuff, so that was fucking awesome. Go out your way for fucking family friendly wrestling to go and see CXW Extreme down in Essex area. So any other show they've got, I'll promote that, because they fucking, I think they had, the last show they had like 411 and this they had 425. They've hardly been going like that long, and that's huge crowds, which is very, very good to see. There is also an incident, I would say, if everybody's going on and on and on about the Lightube ban. Basically, I've been looking into this a little bit more obsessively than most people, I think. Basically, in September this year, there's basically going to be a ban on the production of light tubes, T8 and T5 light tubes in the UK. In America, there's a ban on production of light tubes of T12s. So in the UK, supposedly we can still have T12s, obviously they're more expensive and harder to get. In the US, they may have to go back to using, or just using T8s, which they consider more dangerous and everything. All this different shit. Basically, the governments are cunts. The Green Party, I assume that a lot of people are just making a lot of money out of this for selling LED lights. It wouldn't be surprised me if there's people in government organisations that are voting for these bans and things. Basically, there's 137 countries that are voted to outlaw, like, not just light tubes, but light bulbs and things for LEDs. So basically, in the next couple of years, we are going to have to fucking salvage them from all over the UK. So I want all the fans that watch this to get involved and stockpile as many light tubes as you can for deathmatch shows before we have to fucking buy them from overseas, which is probably what's going to happen. Because there's 137 countries that are wanting to completely outlaw, ban them and get shitty LED bulbs. So that's a pain in the arse, but we will get there in the end, even if it costs us a little bit of money and use T12s all the time. There's a way, but the stockpile is on in my fucking house. I think so far I've got about 600 light tubes sitting here just stockpiled up, so go everywhere. Go in fucking Facebay, Gumtree, fucking raid your fucking local recycling centre. Say you're having them for an art show. And fucking get as many light tubes as you can, because we do need fucking light tubes. Light tubes are the sort of life and soul. They're on my fucking logo. They're on this. My fucking skull biting into a fucking light tube. They are... people say there's more to deathmatch than light tubes, which there is. There's hundreds of other different things to go with deathmatches, storytelling, blood, various different weapons, but light tubes are a very, very massive, big synonymous part. And I think if light tubes were completely eliminated, I think a lot of people would go, don't want to bother going to see that deathmatches, because a lot of people, even for me especially, it's no glass, no go. So just to say that, please everybody, stockpile some fucking tubes for the shows. Alex Cologne is now in fucking XPW. Basically, there was a lot of Twitter back. I don't have Twitter, but I don't read all this crap secondhand. Alex Cologne saying he was sort of treated badly by Brett Lauderdale. Brett Lauderdale saying that he gave him everything. He took him to Japan. There was a match between him and John Wayne Murdoch at COS, I believe, and he said that he gave him his biggest payday of his career, 3 times more than they'd ever made, and he also gave him an extra $1 to show like how much respect he was due for him. But Alex Cologne has now left GCW. He's going to come back. He is now the XPW World Champion in a match against Masada, which is very, very good. Fucking skewers in Masada's fucking burned hand. We're going to talk about King of the Death matches, because I've not done a show since then. We've also had a Kumite show, which I believe is going to be up on IWTV ASA fucking P. Maybe even by the time this episode is out, it might be up on IWTV. And we had Gary Jane, the fucking UK, who was on that Kumite show, and he also wrestled Clint Margera. And from the clips I've seen, an excellent match in North Wrestling in Newcastle. And also, finally, before I move into the reviews, RIP to Brian fucking Dixon, legendary fucking wrestling promoter here in the UK. So rest in peace to him, and condolences for his family and for the wrestling community who's been promoting wrestling for decades and decades and decades and decades in the UK. So rest in peace to him. Now, we move on to the fucking reviews as I first go over Battle of the Tournament. I don't know if I'll have a music thing here. Probably not. Where we have what was better, GCW's TOS 8 on June the 3rd, in the Terminal. Still doesn't make it sound very good. Showboat Atlantic City, or XPW's Killafornia 2 King of the Deathmatch Tournament in the Derby Room, Pomona, California on the 22nd of April. That's how long ago this was. I've not done this for a while, so let's fucking get into that shit. So, XPW's Killafornia 2 King of the Deathmatch is a 16-man deathmatch tournament in Pomona, California. I will say that the crowd to start with looked a little light, but it's probably just because it was the very, very first, it was an early show and everything, everybody's all still at the bar. I will say that they probably still made as much on like tickets as they would for any other show, because XPW's tickets are a lot more expensive, like double usually what ICW and Olds Bar is. Then again, they do have people like Drake Younger and Necro Butcher and Big Joe and everything on their shows. So fair enough. First match, we had Terex against Shane Mercer. I will say that Terex and Ludak Shaitan, I think, were in there to replace Oren Veit and somebody Fanu or somebody Fatu that didn't turn up. I don't think we ever got a reasoning for that, even in the Rob Black show, but whatever. I really like Terex, I think he's very underrated. Main thing for this match is Terex got a nasty fucking cut, like near his wrist, and I was like, oh Jesus, it pools of fucking blood outside the ring. I remember me and my friend Peter watched all this live, which was 7.5 hours, I think, watching it live, and this was through all the ring clear-ups and everything. My God, it was long, and I think it started for us at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, with like the 8-hour LA time difference. So my Lord, like the time it finished for us, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, I think. It's like, Jesus fucking hell. We got through it all, but it was a long, long night. I'm sure if you were there like live in like LA or watching it like LA time, it would have been fine, but just for us in the UK, starting so late, afterwards on a Saturday, people have been out drinking and they come back to watch that, like, oh, fucking hell. So Shane Mercer beats Terex. I afterwards just thought we were just going to end the match there, and then Shane Mercer gives him like a big power move. Then again, I've only watched this tournament once live, so bear with me to try and remember everything that happened in it. We had Drake Younger against Dirty Ron as well. I think the first couple of matches, the Terex one was meant to be like a barbed wire madness match, and then the second one it was Dirty Ron against Drake Younger. Who Drake Younger, this was his last ever wrestling show he's pretty much ever going to do. We'll get to that after the tournament. Drake Younger defeated Dirty Ron in a Lightube log cabin match, which is pretty good. I think these were the first two sort of matches that had like set gimmick stipulations. Everything else was just deathmatch, 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 which is fine. But also I will say for this show they had 2 rings, and the second ring was no barbed wire, and the first ring was just ropes, which was interesting as well for a setup. So then what do we got? We got Aero Boy against the Body. Got ladders, blood, lots of light tubes. Aero Boy did beat the Body. I did think that a lot of people were like, the Body's going to go the distance, the Body's going to go the distance. But in this tournament, basically, the Body got beat, and then this was when he was identified as he, and then I think he came out and identified as she, then he came out and identified as they, like a sort of Cactus Jack gimmick in the Rumble, like he'd come in but like as a different person, basically, which is pretty fucking entertaining. So Aero Boy goes through. Eric Ryan was against Ludark Shaitan. It was a very, very good death match. I fucking enjoyed it. Good to see Eric Ryan in XPW. Don't think that's going to happen very much, so we'll go on to speak about that later on. Also then we got the Body against Becky Hate, which I did not expect. I think she was meant to be in the tournament anyway. The Body beat Becky Hate as her in this one, I think. Quickly going through these matches. It was a very, very fucking good tournament though, I will say. There was a lot of fucking weapons. I think all the weapons like set up and stuff was a lot of it was done by Schlack. So fucking Schlack's like the main backstage guy, like a side. He's like the right hand man to Rob Black in XPW basically, and he's the champion, well the deathmatch champion. So the Body beat Becky Hate. I think we might have had some interference from somebody, and I'm sure we had. It wasn't at this show. Anyway, I was thinking of Pleasures of the Flesh where we had. Anyway, so then we move on to Big Joe against JD Horror, who's like an LA deathmatch sort of legend. He was in like UEW and then Crimson Crown Wrestling. He was retired for a long time. I think he was like, he would have been in like King of the Death matches. I'm sure he was in like a TOD 1 year as well. Big Joe and him were brawling all out there on the outside. This match was very, very good. Like for what you're kind of thinking that like JD Horror's going to be a bit rusty and everything, but he's in there with Big Joe. Great fucking match. Suplexes and guardrails on the outside, light tube fucking crucifixes, beating the fucking shit out of each other. Excellent match. Then we got probably one of my favourite matches the entire night, which was Masada against Judge Joe Dredd. Masada basically beat the fucking shit out of Judge Joe Dredd and made me a fan of Joe Dredd. The amount of abuse and just skewers and cinder blocks and just a batter, and he got destroyed by Masada. But he kept getting back up, he got a little bit, like, got some offense in as well. In the end, Masada defeated him, and I was like, holy fuck, like, Joe Dredd, excellent, cannot wait for his upcoming match. He's going to be against Big fucking Joe, back in the Derby room for XPW's Problematic. Then we got Lou Nixon against the Hardcore Hillbilly, which was a lot of fucking fun. This was the last first round, no wait, yes it was, the last first round match. Say for like Lou and Joe and stuff, like Jesus Christ, like having to wait there all day for this. Main thing I will say about this is Lou Nixon kicked the bucket of Hardcore Hillbilly, unsurprisingly. Hardcore Hillbilly like ran, they had like a table thing set up in between like the two rings. Hardcore Hillbilly right through that. He got 2 fucking Kenzans hammered into his fucking head. Fucking nasty, nasty shit. Hardcore Hillbilly, great. Takes a fucking beating all the time, but Lou Nixon advances. Then we move on to the second round, which is the main thing was Shane Mercer against the Body. Shane Mercer wins, goes to finals. Shane Mercer's very, very well in these like tournaments that he's always in for XPW and stuff. So the main thing of this is Shane Mercer picks up the Body and hurls him, like Gorilla Flesh slams him from one ring right into the barbed wire ring. I was like, holy fuck. The Body getting the shit destroyed out of him in this. Earlier on in the show, the Body came down and said he wanted to challenge Kat Martini for her television title. We've still not had that match. I think we were meant to have that match at the last show, Broken Beat Scarred, but the Body wasn't there. Then we got an excellent match. Just go your way and watch it. Fucking buy the fucking pay-per-view, you cunts, and stream XPW. Drake Younger against Eric Ryan, which is like two of the best in the world. Like one of Drake's like basically Drake's final singles death match, aside from the thing with Schlack at the very end. So Drake Younger defeated Eric Ryan. Both these guys put each other over on social media and everything. Very, very nice to see two guys, like a match that you probably never expected would have happened, just based on like the companies that they've worked in and things that have happened. But yeah, great, great match. Then we got Aero Boy beat Big fucking Joe. I was like, holy shit, I did not expect that to happen. Remember there's a bit where Joe fucking puts Aero Boy in a fucking shopping cart, pushes him right into it, Lighttube's like on his groin right into the side of the ring. More brawling in the crowd, beating the shit out of each other. Very, very good match. Aero Boy won though. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't believe that. And then, probably my second favourite match of the entire night was Masada against Lou Nixon. Masada working motherfucking stiff. Just both these guys punching and chopping and kicking and forearming the shit out of each other. Very, very good. In the end, fucking, like, probably at this point, Lou Nixon's, like, biggest match, but every single match Lou Nixon's doing in XPW, he's, like, wrestled Drake, Masada, then he wrestled Necro, now he's gonna wrestle Schlack. Like, fuck me. Good fucking job for fucking Lou Nixon. And I'm still waiting on, Lou Nixon had, like, these, like, Mega Maga sign things that were designed by Deathmatch Outlaws. I'll put them up here. I'm still waiting on that coming through the post from the fucking cunt in Royal Mail. Anyway, Masada gives Lou Nixon a fucking powerbomb into like barbed wire ropes, like, oh my god, so nasty looking. But there we have that, and then we get to the finals, which is a four-way. Drake, Aero Boy, Masada, Shane Mercer, Lighttube's 2 rings. And the main thing we will say about this, that has been spoken about at length several thousand times, just not by me, is Masada had lighter fluid. He was blowing lighter fluid at people, trying to chase Drake Younger and Shane Mercer around the ring. Then he got a bit of fire in his beard, like his hanging down beard. He went to like swipe it with a hand that had the lighter fluid. His entire fucking face and arms were all burnt and fucking went up in flames. He was on fire for about 15 seconds. It was fucking scary. There was no like water or fire extinguishers until like after the fact. Masada put the fucking fire out himself. Like, holy fuck, that was like scary, scary shit. And then Masada fucking wrestled like another 10 minutes and finished the fucking match. Insane. That was like, I couldn't believe that happened. Just a freak accident, but Masada's come back like fucking a month later and wrestled again and had fucking skewers stabbed in his burns and everything. Masada is a hardcore fucking guy, like, insane shit. And then in the end of that, he gets eliminated, Shane Mercer gets eliminated, and Drake Younger wins the fucking King of the Deathmatch tournament, and then he gets to fucking wrestle Schlack after he's just wrestled fucking what? 3 matches? Oh, and this is going to be for the XPW title. Schlack comes down, destroys the King of the Deathmatch trophy that Drake Younger just won. Boo! In this, Schlack just beats the fucking shit out of Drake Younger. It's like, it's the same sort of situation with, in a similar vein as to what happens, and not really, similar vein what happened to Rena, the other thing, like she's already won a tournament and then she gets beaten down and has to wrestle again and again. She's not fresh is basically what I mean, and Drake's not fresh. Gets destroyed by Schlack. The belt's hung up above the ring like it's a ladder match. Drake pushes Schlack off a ladder, Schlack catches the belt right through a table with a sheet of glass on it. Schlack retains the title, Drake Younger wins the tournament, Drake Younger doesn't win the title, and unfortunately, after that, we find out that Drake Younger, after this, had a broken back. He broke his back from this match, or previously before this, or 6 months before this. Never really sure when this happened, but Drake went to the hospital, and basically Drake is now retired from professional wrestling, so thank you to fucking Drake Younger for all you've done for deathmatch wrestling, professional wrestling, all his referee work in the WWE, all the stuff he did recently, stuff in CZW, stuff in PWG. Like, a legend in IWA Mid-South, fucking so like a legend, a living legend of deathmatch wrestling, came back for this run, and every single match it was a banger with like Aero Boy, Big Joe, Lou Nixon, that whole tournament. And he wins the XPW King of the Deathmatch tournament, and then he retires. So kind of goes out on a high, but a fucking real shame. A legend of deathmatch wrestling. And Big Joe was collecting stuff when he was at Kumite, and I sent Big Joe some money for that as well. For Drake, for his family and stuff, because like, he's got like 3 or 4 kids, and he's got another 2 on the way and everything. So yeah, thank you, Drake fucking Younger, for everything that you've done for wrestling. And then, so that was the tournament, and that was XPW Summer. I really enjoyed it. It was very, very long watching it live, I will say. Lots and lots of matches. I wish we had a couple like multi-mans and stuff, but it was still enjoyable. The ending story, it's sort of going back after the fact, because Drake retired after it, makes you have a lot more appreciation for the tournament, and just for his performance as a whole. And then we'll move on to TOS 8. Like I said, it was, what, June 3rd, the Terminal, this weird big basement thing. People say it was growing on them and stuff. It just looked very, very bright, sort of like hospital-esque, even like the floors, everything just looked like a big sort of car park vibe. Crowd was motherfucking huge. Huge crowd for it though, like massive, massively. I'm going to say like at least maybe nearly 2,000 people were there, because the crowd was huge for fucking TOS. So basically, to start with, Gage comes out with Dewey. He sends Dewey to the back to get the trophy. Zandig comes out. Zandig's in the ring. Like a random sort of scuffle ensues. I assume it's both guys just fucking around having fun. And like, who the fuck's going to tell them no? Like, Gage attacked Zandig with some tubes. Zandig hit Gage with some tubes. There's kind of a little scuffle, and then they were just kind of hugged in the ring. And I was like, okay, whatever. Fair enough. Then we got the first opening match, where we got Siglo Green Phantom, and Medio Extremo. We got sheets of glass in this one, light tubes. There's like a light tube skateboard from Green Phantom, reminiscent when he did that. Basic, well, similar-ish against the Necro Butcher at TOD3. We had fucking double stomp from Siglo at the Green Phantom with the light tubes. I remember a lot more of this than I do for the XPW thing. Then again, this was like a week ago. Like, this was like at the weekend just passed, as opposed to like a month and a half ago. One thing that did happen is there was a bit with Siglo fucking brained the Green Phantom in the head with a chair, and I think he must have like popped his arm out place, because right after he hit the Green Phantom in the head with a chair, he ran out the ring, and that was him. He was eliminated from the match. But these matches weren't eliminations; it was like 1 fall to a finish. Then it was like weird. Phantom hits his finish on fucking Siglo. Then he doesn't pin him, and then he goes outside, sits up a table thing, and then he gets put through a table thing, and then Siglo wins, and Siglo advances. So I was 1 for 1 on that so far. Everybody was like, yeah, Sawyer Rex going to win the tournament. Fucking this. I expected the finals to be Joey Janela against Rina Yamashita. But hey ho. Then we got the next match. We got Toru Segura, who's got the best facial expressions in fucking wrestling, I would say. It's so good. It's so good. It's like, it's funny, and it's like disturbing at the same time. Toru Segura, Joey Janela, and Tomoya Harata, who's the Freedom's champion, in a 3-way. This was pretty good as well. It wasn't as good as what I expected. Lots of tubes, doors, fucking just slamming the fuck out of each other. Joey Janela, I think this was the match where he had like a barbed wire crown on, but that might have been the night after. Basically, I will say for this one, is I wanted Harata to win. My personal finals I would have had would have been Harata against Tremont, so I really wanted to see that match. We didn't get that. Segura won. He rolled up Janela and won with like a random roll-up pin. I was like, what the fuck? So Janela didn't go through, so I was down for that one, so Segura goes through. Then we got John Wayne Murdoch, El Desperado, a beautiful mask, and Matt Tremont. There was like a barbed wire spider web structure. The minute I saw it, I was like, Tremont's going through that. And I was right. We got tubes beating the fuck out of each other. Tremont takes a bump through this barbed wire thing, goes right to the floor, so it slips under, like the floor slips underneath, and he goes straight like that. Looked nasty. In the end, fucking John Wayne Murdoch, I think, hits the Deep South Destroyer from the top through, I think, like a barbed wire door or something to pin Desperado. But a lot of people were like, Desperado's going to win, and Desperado's going to go to the fight. I was like, what the fuck, yeah. John Wayne Murdoch wins that one, good match. Then we got ladies 3-way as Rina Yamashita, the ultraviolet champion, Casey Kirk and Sawyer Wreck. This was really, really good. They had gusset plates all stuck in their own heads and headbutting each other. Nasty fucking chair shots, fucking light tube shots. There's a nasty bump where I think Sawyer like chokeslammed Casey and Rina through a pane of glass on the outside, and it looked like Casey like went right through the glass and her head basically like hit the floor. I was like, oh my god, like afterwards she looked concussed, so I think she was okay. Well, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then I think Sawyer got slammed, and then Rena like powerbombed Casey, like splash mountain powerbombed Casey onto Rena and tubes. Pinned her, Rena goes through. Then we had a 4-way. It wasn't a scramble match. I will say this for GCW on the weekend. There was a 4-way, and they did have a 6-man tag match, which is basically a scramble. But they did not have a scrambles match. So Blake Christian, Alec Price, Gringo, Loco, Jack Cartwheel. Flip, 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 kick, 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 move, move, move. Blake Christian wins. Hooray. Then we got Johnny Murdoch against Siglo, which is a match that was alright. We had another Canadian Destroyer, or Deep South Destroyer, where Murdoch had fucking Siglo headphones in. Lots of fucking light tubes. I think it was a sort of foregone conclusion that John Wayne Murdoch was going to win this, and he did. I was thinking that Janelle would have been in that spot against Siglo. That's what I thought they were going to do, and like because they had that match early doors, like it was like 2018 GCW, maybe even earlier than that. It must have been 2018. Siglo against Janelle, and a really good death match from one of the, I forget what building it was in, maybe in Chicago or something. But I thought they were going to have a redo of that match. But anyway, John Wayne Murdoch wins. Then we had a fucking, where are we? Then we had Rina Yamashita against Toru Segura, which was another good match. It was a kind of foregone conclusion again. Rina was going to win this. She fucking did. She beat Segura. Which was a fine match. I enjoyed it. I mean, I genuinely can't really remember anything from that match, mind you. But I'm sure it was very, very good. And then we get to the finals of TOS. I think we had a random thing where it was like Lowlife Louie came out, who was in the Hall of Fame. And then Brandon Kirk came out, and it was like setting up a match for like JCW, which is like at fucking 1 or 2 in the morning or something. I didn't watch that. But I thought they were going to do the situation where they had like years ago, it was TOS 4, TOS 5 or something, where it would have been 4, where like the Legends came out, and then Connor Claxton came out as a heel, and then they all just beat the shit out of him. So I thought Louie was just going to beat up Brandon Kirk, but he didn't. They just both kind of walked out the ring. And then we move on to the finals, which was Rena against John Wayne Murdoch. We had the setup. They do the stupid thing in GCW where they take away, like, when they're doing the setup, they did the same for the cage, like they always do. And they're setting up the tubes, like, they'll do like a intermission break, and it'll say, oh, 20 minutes, and then it'll go to 10 minutes, and then it'll go to 15 minutes, then it'll go to 3 minutes, then it'll go back to 10 minutes, and you're like, just put 45 minutes up. Put 45 minutes up, and then if it starts early, everybody can go, ho ho ho, hooray, but they don't do that. Also, they could either just do fucking put the setup on. Just turn the sound off and just put the setup on, because people like myself, if somebody's setting up like Cage of Death or fucking a 200 Lightube death match or whatever, I'd quite like to see that. I'd quite like to see the setup of the fucking ring. Just don't put sound on, it doesn't matter. But no, they didn't do that. So then we had, it was Lightube ropes, a scaffolding, panes of glass, there was all sorts of shit. I kind of hate scaffoldings, like, and because they kind of always do it for these like main event matches, like if there's a big scaffold, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it, it's like, it's so obvious it's going to get used, and it's so obvious that it's going to maybe be the finish of the match. It wasn't in this one. It wasn't in this one. But, I mean, John Wayne Murdoch and Rena went up the top. John Wayne Murdoch like took a fucking bump off the top of it, and then I think he like kicked out one or something. Blasted Rena in the head with about like fucking 15 light tubes in a row. That was pretty fucking cool. In the end, fucking my pick to win, Rena Yamashita won. She defeated John Wayne Murdoch. Oh my god, who would have thought? And then, fucking Toru Segura and Hirata from Freedoms came down, obviously to celebrate with Rena, started kicking the shit out of her. And then somebody came running down, and I was like, that's Jun Kasai. Why did he have a mask on? I have no idea why Kasai had a mask on. Like, it made no sense. Like, even if he's going to run in and then do the turn, he basically ran in, came in, like, helped Rena, then turned around, gave her the fucking pile driver, and then did the Pearl Harbor splash. Then he like kind of slipped off the first time. I think the ropes, this might just be me, but the ropes looked really thin for some reason at that show. I don't know what that was, but they looked very, very thin. Yeah, like he ran down, like he could have just ran down as Jun Kasai. He's going to get the same pop. Hit his music, he's going to get a bigger pop. Like, I don't understand, he ran him like a mask on. Like, even if Jun Kasai's wearing a mask from behind, I know it's Jun Kasai, if that makes any sense. So he runs down, he attacks her, then he runs away. So Jun Kasai was there, and you're like, holy shit, so Jun Kasai's in America. Apparently he was just straight back on the plane after that. He did like some signings and some pictures of people. It's pretty fucking cool. There's a picture here of like him with Zandig and Gage. which is pretty awesome. But yeah, the next day he was in Freedom, so he was in a Japanese show. So he was just basically right there for that one little thing, then he went away. Because on Cage of Survival, they didn't even mention Kasai once. Not even say, oh, Rina Yamashita got attacked last night by Jun Kasai. Rina Yamashita was attacked by... They did not mention Kasai's name once on commentary on Cage of Survival. Go back and watch the entire thing. Not a single mention of that happening. So, which I thought was very, very fucking strange. But anyway, that was the two tournaments. What is the better tournament? I would say for... It's difficult. I would probably give it to XPW, but then again, XPW is far too long. I think for like crowd response and things for that, I'd say GCW, because the crowd was a lot bigger and they had Kasai. But then again, XPW probably had my better matches, I would say, for like Lou Nixon against Masada, Masada against Judge Joe Dredd, Joe against thingy like that. Like the best match, probably the best two matches of the TOS were the two semi-finals matches. It's difficult to say, but that was the two big tournaments for XPW and GCW. And then we had GCW's Hall of Fame with Zandig, Piss Jug Mike, that was really good. Joey Janela was there, and Piss Jug Mike's sisters, I think. That was like quite heartwarming, heartfelt. Lowlife Louie was there getting an award. Brain Damage was inducted. And Zandig was there, and it was obviously Zandig was the main event. It was very, very good to see Zandig with his MAGA hat on and everything. But the main thing, obviously, from that is somebody yelling about Rob Black, and Zandig saying, fuck Rob Black, he's due me this, he's lost me loads of money, and blah, blah, blah. Rob Black would say this on his thing, like, if people don't want to talk about him, just don't talk about him. Like, if somebody mentions it, just say, oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving him, like, more publicity by mentioning his name and stuff, so... Anyway, that was Battle of the Tournaments. I would say XPW, but then again, it's very, very close, because GCW was, like, half the length. GCW show from start to finish, including this intermission fucking thing, was like 3.5 hours. XPW's was like 7.5 hours, so it's very difficult to say. Then we will move on to Cage of Survival 2. This was the funny thing as well, was at Cage of Survival and Tournament of Survival, in the terminal car parking structure thing, there's like a huge like fan, like the size of like a fucking like bus, spinning right round at the top, and I'm like, what the fuck are they going to do with the cage? I was like, they're going to have to fucking move the ring. But they didn't move the ring. So like, the cage at the end, we'll go on to speak about that, the cage at the end was like one cage wall, then it was like reminiscent of like the fucking, I think Caden said this to me, it was like the Danny Havoc, fucking Sammy Callahan, like the cage walls are kind of like barbed wire one, and there was a cage on with like sheet of glass on it and everything. A monument, fucking massive pane of glass. So there's all this different shit. Wasn't really technically a cage. Anyway, we'll move. So what do we have? So we had Makito against Janai Kai. This is alright. Makito came down to Gage's music where I was like, oh my god, Nick Gage, but it wasn't, it was Makito. Which is fine. Makito's not too bad. Makito beat Janai Kai. Opening match. Okay. Then we had Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander came down. They were against the Kirks. Cardona and Steph DeLander cutting great promos. Indie God stuff. She's got a women's internet belt. This is a decent match. It was meant to be a normal match. Lots and lots of stalling, but the good type of stalling. Like Cardona getting a reaction, a bigger reaction than the majority of the people on either show without even doing a move, just by talking on the mic. It's great fucking heel heat. Eventually we get in the ring. We get some like basic wrestling. Cardona's like, I'm going to change the rules. It was going to be a sports entertainment match. Now it's a death match. Picks up a light tube and then smashes it on the ground. Save the light tubes, I say. Save the fucking light tubes. In the end, I think we had like Steph DeLander kicked fucking Casey Kirk right in the face. There was like a nasty like double running like boot scrape thing to Brandon Kirk's face as well. Steph DeLander gave Brandon a fucking Death Valley driver and a thing of chairs. He was going to go for the Psycho Driver, fuck your life. I think in the end, I think Steph DeLander or Cardona got the pin on Brandon, I think, but the Cardona and DeLander win. Then Gage and Makito come down. Gage hands Makito the light tubes, blasts Cardona, and is reminiscent to when Nathan Black got hit in Rise or Die, where like instantly hit with like one bundle of tubes and he was pouring fucking blood, covered in blood. So that segment was pretty cool. Then we got fucking El Hijo del Viking against Ninja Mac. Flips and dives, lots and lots of flips and dives. Very, very entertaining flips and dives, mind you, but flips and dives nonetheless. Both these guys are very, very good. I do think that just with the pace and the style they work, that sometimes with some of the moves they do, it's like scary to watch because I think there's like an accident waiting to happen. But they're both very, very good. The Vikingo wins with like a 6:30, I think, in the end. Beats Ninja Mac, decent match. I think it's like the first time Ninja Mac's been back GCW in a while. Then again, I don't follow GCW as regular as I used to because there's 8 fucking shows a week. Thank God for Fight Plus, I will say. So go and watch the fucking, I didn't say much about the Hall of Fame thing, go and watch the Hall of Fame thing on Fight Plus. Watch these shows in Fight Plus. Like, you got Fight Plus, you can just got all this shit. Then we got the East-West Coast Express and Mike Bailey against Alex Price, Jack Cartwheel, Jimmy Lloyd. Basically a scrambles match, but a 6-man tag. Near falls, super kicks, Canadian destroyers, near falls. Whatever, East-West Express and Mike Bailey win. In the end, they like put over Mike Bailey like really, really big, as if he was like leaving the company or something. I thought he was going to turn on them. And then they were like, we challenge, we've beaten everybody in GCW, we beat blah blah blah, we beat blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, right. And then fucking Brian XL, who I didn't realise was still wrestling, and Amazing Red came out and then attacked them. They're from House of Glory, it's a promotion I do not watch. I don't know anyone who watches House of Glory, but Amazing Red's obviously a legendary wrestler, so is Brian XL, but I was like, what? And then so they came down, they attacked them to set up a show for tag team match for the titles. They stole East-West Express's belts. The crowd couldn't care less, neither could I. Then we got Harata and Segura against Siglope and Medio Extremo in an excellent little death match. Fucking Medio Extremo's arms still take, we had like one arm. This was like very, very good. We got some brutal chair shots to Harata's head. In the end, Los Macizos win. A very, very good fucking death match, especially considering that Medio Extremo only had one fucking arm. I did want to see fucking Harata fucking get a win at some point, but hey, what are you gonna do? Then we got the best match of the entire weekend: El Desperado against Joey Janela in a death match. Excellent. I'm not going to say anything more about it. Go and watch it. It was fucking great. It put basically everything the night before to shame, I would say. For my money, Janela against El Desperado. El Desperado wins at the end, and then he like challenged John Moxley or something. I think they wrestled before in a Japanese. I don't think it was Freedoms. It was like DDT or something. So El Desperado against Joey Janela. Go and watch that. Then Cage of Survival, which was another very, very good match. I would say Cage of Survival was probably better than the tournament, just based on like the last 3 matches here. We got fucking Masha getting put on top of like a metal cage thing with a pane of glass behind her. Rena gives her a big splash. Just the camera angle underneath the cage thing of all the glass shattering was so fucking cool. It's a huge pane of glass, like 4 times the size of a normal pane of glass. I think Rena got slammed through that. Rena got slammed into the barbed wire side of the cage, like they were beating the fuck out of each other. There was like a scaffold. Rena like gave Masha like a big fucking massive like kryptonite crunch thing through 2 doors like off the scaffold. It was like, holy fuck. This match was really, really good. Did think that Rena was going to win at any minute, but then I did mention this to people. We're all watching this on like the UK Deathmatch chat thing, and I was like, Blake Christian's got his Money in the Bank cash-in thing, and lo and behold, he came out as like a cameraman. I don't know why people are dressing up in masks and like cameraman outfits. Like, just run down, like you're fucking part of it. I don't understand that. Anyway, he comes in, gives Masha a double stomp. It's now a 3-way. Cashes in his thing, gives Masha another double stomp, and Blake Christian wins and is now your new GCW champion. Get the old familiar throwing all the cans and bottles in the ring, which I like. For RSP beating Gage and for Matt Cardona, fair enough. This one kind of seemed a little bit contrived. Like the fans just doing it because they think they should do it rather than actual legitimate hatred. I think they knew that was going to happen. But it might be legitimate hatred, I don't know. It just kind of seemed like old hat. Do you know what I mean? But hey ho, so then Blake Christian, who I do quite like, is now the GCW World Champion. Rena didn't really get her moment to shine. Well, I mean, obviously she won a tournament and was in the main event. She got a moment to shine. I mean, she didn't really get the chance to celebrate with her trophy or get to celebrate anything from that because she was beaten down by Kasai. Then she was kind of like a non-factor at the end of the world title match. So we'll see what happens with there as we go forward from GCW go to Japan. Anyway, that was Cage of Survival. Go and fucking watch that show. It was pretty good. Then we move on to XPW's Broken Beat Scarred, which I believe I should have an event t-shirt coming in the post at some point with a Lou Nixon thing, I believe. So where do we start with this one? Basically, we had Tessa Blanchard was announced for this, Alex Colon was announced for this, we're meant to have Thomas Vladimir was meant to be there, he got taken off. Listen to the Rob Black show, he covers all this in greater details. Basically, NWA didn't want him in the show, there was all these different things. Akis Kogar was meant to be there. Rob Black basically saying that anyone who sort of works for Circle 6, as in like the Bev, Eric Ryan, Akis Kogar, Otis Kogar, people like that, like he is never ever, if they work for Circle 6, they're never going to get to work for Rob Black because of a thing that happened that I'll go on to speak about on No Holds Barred 46. Anyway, so the first match we got Alice Crowley, who I hadn't seen for a while. I think she's in Circle 6 or was in Circle 6. Who I think that's the first time I saw was like an IWA Mid-South? Deep South? Maybe a train wreck? Remember that? What a long time ago that feels like now. Alice Crowley's very, very good. Her against Tessa Blanchard. A strange match I thought for Tessa Blanchard coming, but this match was really good. Both these girls can go. I think it was a 4-1 conclusion, like with a lot of these matches that Tessa was going to win. Alice Crowley, like it wasn't like a fucking squash match. Like Alice Crowley did fucking like beat fuck out of her as well. It's very, very good. Tessa wins in the end with like a sort of like her must be like her finish. I've not seen Tessa Blanchard wrestle for a long, long time. Like a DDT finish, and she wins. Then we were meant to have the Body was meant to be against Cat Martini for the TV title. Basically, the Hardcore Hillbilly comes out and he's in the Body's place. Cat Martini blasts him with light tubes. Ludak Shaitan comes down, beat the fuck out of the Hillbilly. Cat Martini wins in like fucking like 20 seconds or something. Poor Hillbilly. Then we got I would say one of my favourite matches of the night. We got Lucky 13 against Eric Dillinger. Like my god, we got like a Rob Van Dam leg drop from the fucking apron to Lucky 13 over the guardrail with light tubes. Like, it was so fucking good. Like, a vicious, brutal match. Eric Dillinger all in white as well. Lucky 13 gave him a horrendous like fucking double foot stomp with his head stuck in the chair sitting upright. This match was great. Please go out your way to watch it. Eric Dillinger's very, very fucking good. Lucky does win in the end with that big double stomp thing. Excellent little death match, so very, very good. Hope to see Eric Dillinger back in XPW. And then we move on to a 3-way women's title match. There's Ludak Shaitan, Becky Haight and Chelsea Durr. So we got the women's 3-way. Which is basically a similar match we had at, I can't remember the name of the last show that was in the Hart Ballroom for Broken Beat, the last show before Broken Beat Scarred at the Hart Ballroom. Basically a 3-way, Ludak Shaitan, Becky Haight, Chelsea Durden. It was the same match, we had Lindsay Snow involved, it was a 4-way. This match was fine, but then like Chelsea Durden was getting the shit kicked out of her, then Masada came down, and then I think it became like a 1-on-1 match between Becky Haight and Ludak Shaitan. Ludak Shaitan wins in the end. Decent match, was very, very similar to like the last match we had with the same people involved. Pardon me. Then we had Schlack defending the Deathmatch title against Kit Osborne. And Schlack beats the fuck out of Kit Osborne. Kit Osborne does get some offense in. There's like light tubes in the corners, light tube bundles. Kit Osborne's bleeding like fuck. Like a nasty, like Schlack hits Osborne with like a nasty, like sit out fucking like brain buster, like fucking sit out tombstone pile driver thing, not a brain buster. It's nasty super kicks by Kit Osborne, but in the end of this match, Schlack does beat Kit Osborne. There's a lot of like miscommunications or whatever it looked like, but I mean the match went like 5 minutes, but Schlack beat the fuck out of Kit Osborne. Afterwards, like Brian Ginsberg from the Boulevard Bullies was like in the crowd, like a sign that said "fuck Kit Osborne," put it underneath his head and like rubbed his face on like the sign. And then it was like they were almost like fighting like in the crowd and stuff. So that was pretty fucking mental for that. Then we got probably I would say that the last two matches are the best two matches of the night. Maga Butcher was against big fucking Lou Nixon. Lou Nixon with his gear on as a sort of tribute to Samoa Joe's gear when he was against the Necro Butcher in 2005. I want to say in the fucking IWA match that was in the ECW arena. Anyway, this was great. It was fans bringing the weapons, but like lots of kicks, lots of punches, lots of fucking brutal shots between the both of them. There's a bit where I think Lou Nixon like nearly fucking like wins. The referee's taken out or somebody else runs in or something like that. In the end, the Maga Butcher did fucking beat Lou Nixon. Boo, but it was like Lou Nixon held his fucking own. chopping and punching and kicking and like both just beating the fuck out of each other. Lou Nixon just in XPW, they're giving him fucking everybody, and like he's against Schlack next. I really hope Lou wins that fucking title. I can't see, but I really fucking hope Lou Nixon wins it. So well fucking done to Lou Nixon for just going over and just destroying people in XPW, and hopefully he'll soon get that fucking win column. And I want to see him get belt and gold in XPW. Then we had Alex Colon against Masada for the XPW World Heavyweight title. This was going to be Thomas Vladimir, it was going to be Akis, blah blah. Anyway, Masada is still fucking burnt to fuck. There's a very, very nasty spot in this. This was a very, very good match. Started off very, very slow. Like wrestling match. We had skewers, we had doors, we had chairs. No tubes or anything, but my god, like nice fucking like tornado DDTs. But the main thing I'll remember is Masada's fucking hand is all blistered to fuck, and Alex Colon is stabbing skewers in his blistered fucking like burnt hand. It was so fucking sick looking. It was so fucking cool though. Lots of skewers, lots of just brutal fucking shots to each other. Sure, there was a vicious chair shot to Alex Colon's head as well. Fucking, it was so good. Like please go and buy the XPW pay-per-view. I would say just for these last two matches, and for Elliot Dillinger against Lucky were the best two matches of the entire show. And worth fucking 20 fucking bucks for it just for those three matches. For Lou, Maga Butcher, Alex Colon, Masada, and Lucky, Eric Dillinger as well. Other matches were alright, but these three were fucking top tier shit. Alex Colon wins the fucking XPW World title and then cuts a shoot promo on Brett Lauderdale and rants against GCW and Brett Lauderdale and stuff. But he is now the XPW World Champion. Hopefully Masada can now go and fucking heal. Because, like, a hard fucking bastard Masada is for going through all that. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And on the same night, we had XPW's Broken Beat Scarred. We also had, in New Jersey, because the Broken Beat Scarred was at the Hart Ballroom. Then, at the same night, we had ICW Nolan's Bars rolling with the punches. Because they were meant to be in the UK this weekend. It was meant to be God 3 and NHB Part 2 American Tour Fan Davidosi Extravaganza. But it wasn't, because obviously all that fucking shit happened with cunts, and like the Iceman said, you don't have to be fucking, you know, Einstein to realise that you're in a fucking deathmatch and there's glass. Fucking move. Anyway, so we had NHB 46 in the H2O Centre, which is still at a decent enough crowd there for the H2O Centre. So we had Akira against Declan Grant. Very, very good match. I'm a big mark for Declan Grant. I think he's great, very, very underrated. This was like brutal, like headbutts and fucking just doors, and we had tubes and shit as well, so it was very, very good. Akira does beat Declan Grant, boo, but he's Akira. They're still just putting him in this like opening round spot thing. But like he did that thing where he was at that pit fighter thing where he kind of turned and he was going to be more vicious and kind of healed up a little bit, but now he's still just kind of in the same position where he's in the opening of the thing, and then he had his world title match, and then he got destroyed, and it's like, I don't really know what they're going to do with Akira. Like, he's always there, he always puts in excellent matches, are always, for me, a little bit too long, but like, at this point, I mean, they should push him as something, because he's just basically in the exact same spot he was before. Anyway, then we got a random match where Tommy Vendetta issued an open challenge. Homicide fucking came out. This was like lots and lots of stalling by Tommy, like shaking, fighting Homicide. Lots of just Homicide hurling fucking chairs at Vendetta's head like Sabu. Darren McCarty's there. There's a fork involved. Legos. Homicide giving fucking Tommy Vendetta all the abuse. Tommy Vendetta goes to like give Darren McCarthy his big running like backpack cannibal thing. Homicide moves. They both go straight through a door. Homicide wins in the end. I mean, a strange match. A lot of sort of like almost kind of like a comedy match, aside from the Sabu chairs and like trash can lids and stuff. Basically, Homicide beat the fuck out of Tommy Vendetta. But yes, Homicide. Then we got Randy West against Jeff Cannonball. I watched this live. I believe something happened. Either something, I'm like, my friend phoned me drunk, or something happened and I missed like the majority of this match. It wasn't a very long match anyway. But the thing I did see at the end, which was pretty cool, was like, there was a cinder block put on a door with a water jug put through both sides. So like cinder block here, two water jugs, door, and Randy West like gave fucking Cannibal like a suplex or like a Saido suplex right on top of this shit, and then pinned him. I was like, that looked fucking painful. Then, so Randy West retains. This was for the IPW Rust Belt title. Then we got Eric Grimes against Danny DeManto. So basically, Atticus Cogar, this was all in the Rob Black thing, blah blah blah. Rob Black was wanting Atticus Cogar to come in and basically be Alex Colon's opponent, so they didn't have to have Masada wrestle Burnt or Crisp and fucking Hurt and stuff. But then, according to the guy that runs Circle 6, Atticus Cogar was free, but he couldn't work it and he never got back to Rob Black. It was a whole big thing, blah blah blah. But then basically Atticus Cogar turned up after he'd been at XPW and saying that Danny DeManto was a scumbag and blah blah blah, and he's as bad as Brett Lauderdale and all this stuff. Atticus Cogar turns up on ICW Notes Barred, cuts a promo basically saying the same things. Danny DeManto, you're bad for the boys, you take money off the boys, you fuck us all over and everything. Obviously it's an angle though, to set up something for the Chicago show. Which, I mean, DeManto did write something for the Chicago thing. I don't know what they're going to do. There's a possibility now, I might be completely off mark here, but I think there's like a sort of little Twitter back and forth, which I hate, between Atticus Cogar and Matt Cardona. I could possibly see, because the Chicago shows are going to be pretty fucking big, I think, considering who's there. Not Lou Nixon though, mind you, because all this other stuff with like XPW and everything. And ICW Notes Barred. So much drama, all non-stop, constant drama, if you listen to the Rob Black show. But I think it could be Cardona against Atticus Cogar and ICW Notes Barred. So that could potentially happen, because I'm pretty sure Atticus Cogar's meant to be in the Chicago shows. And they've been having a little bit of back and forward, so who fucking knows, unless he's just going to fight DeManto again. I don't know. Anyway, so Atticus came out and cut this promo, and then Eric Ryan attacked Danny DeManto wearing an XPW t-shirt, saying, sorry Uncle Rob. They cut a promo beforehand with like Eric Ryan sitting there, he's trying to eat pizza, and he gets a phone call from DeManto, and he gets a phone call from Rob Black saying he'll give him double money, and then eventually just turns up an ICW Notes Bar, and they did have a very good match. It was Terracotta Pot Taped Fist Deathmatch, with lots and lots of tubes. Danny DeManto taking a hurling of fucking abuse with fucking light tubes, and Terracotta just bleeding like fuck. Very, very good match, but very, very strange in the grand scheme of things. Like, if you watch all the promos for everything and you listen to the Rob Black show, you watch all the different companies, there is so much fucking like drama goes on. I know it happens everywhere in wrestling, but like, Jesus Christ. In the end, Eric Ryan did beat Danny DeManto. I think it was with the Bev came out to distract DeManto, and then Eric Ryan, I think, rolled him up or something like that. Anyway, that was very, very good match. Then we got the match of the night. Matt Tremont against motherfucking Bobby Beverly. Lightube Tokyo Tower that nearly fucked up at the start, but they still blasted it. Fucking, it was awesome. Lightubes just hurled at Matt Tremont's fucking head. This was very, very, very fucking good. I do think that there was the wrong winner in the end. Matt Tremont won with like a Death Valley driver on like a door or something like that. Matt Tremont beat Bobby Beverly. Basically, this was only done. This was the best match of the night to me by far. Tremont beat Bobby Beverly. Then after the match, Tremont basically said he's been undefeated in NHB this year, and he challenged Hoodfoot for the Chicago shows. So we're now going to have Tremont against Hoodfoot. Then the next match with Otis Kogar against Satu Jin. Two big fucking guys, both guys who can fucking wrestle, and both guys who can bleed like fuck with glass and everything. This was great too. Otis Kogar wins in the fucking end, which was really, really good. Good to see Satu Jin in NHB all the time. Very, very underrated wrestler as well. And the final match with Hoodfoot against Reed Bentley, which I thoroughly enjoyed. There was like small like panes of glass that they were fucking just smashing over each other's heads, which was fucking cool. There was like a bit with fucking like a pane of glass on like a structure with a door underneath it that was on fire. They both went through it from the apron, glass and fire everywhere. And Reed Bentley's fucking on fire in his legs. I was like, holy fuck, that was insane. But the only thing we'll see with this match in the end, there was like either a fuck up with the referee, or Tremont or Hoodfoot, sorry, didn't kick out. And Reed Bentley won the title, basically. And then Danny DeManto had to come out and basically say, right, restart the match, blah, 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 we start again. And then Hoodfoot won the title. The fans were pissed. I mean, they could have... Me and somebody else were speaking about this. Like, they could have just had Reed Bentley, even if it was a fuck-up, had Reed Bentley keep it, then have Reed Bentley... I mean, this is a lot of fucking about, but it would have kind of looked better in theories if it was, like, planned. Have Reed Bentley win, then have Reed Bentley lose the title to Abdullah Kobayashi. Have Abdullah Kobayashi hold the belt for one night, then have Hoodfoot win it back in Chicago. Do you know what I mean? So, in that 4-way match with Kobayashi and stuff like that, I mean, that would have been interesting, but hey ho, they just restarted the match. So, I guess that's where they needed to go. But the show was still very, very fun. I think overall there was like better violence than XPW's show, but the show still had a lot less point and a lot less sense to it. Like, these were just matches for the sake of matches, aside from the D'Amato Eric Ryan match, which until they did the promos after it was announced still didn't really make that much sense. Then we move on to, there's a lot of reviews in this because I've not done this for a while. We have fucking H2O Sweet Dreams 3. Basically, I will just go through a couple of matches that I loved on this show. Declan Grant against Matt Tremont, Caribbean Spider Deathmatch. At some point in this, they had like spider like wire on the top of the ropes, like all the way around, and then like wrapped around the ropes. So the ropes are very, very tight. Tremont suplexes Declan Grant onto the ropes, and like one of the ropes snaps. So like for the rest of the show, like happened at one of the last H2O shows, there's like no bottom rope. I was like, what the fuck? So I didn't even notice it until after the first match, because I think I watched it live, but after the fact, after that match had happened, and I went back and watched that match, I was like, they don't got a bottom rope again, but it was like it just got snapped. Basically, what I will say for this is go out of your motherfucking way to watch Neil Diamond Cutter against Leroy Robinson, which is billed as a street fight, basically a death match. It was fucking excellent. Neil Diamond Cutter is such a fucking unbelievable talent, and brought that fucking Leroy Robinson kid up with him. That was fantastic. If you're going to watch anything on the show, please watch that match. It's so fucking good. And the other thing I will say for this show, we had Brandon Kirk against Bam Silva, we had fire, we had a TV on fire. And we'll see Ryan Redfield and Austin Luke had another fucking barn burner of a match. Chops and kicks and beating the fucking shit out of each other. And what else did we have? There's a nasty match with Jimmy Lloyd and Lady Blakely. Lady Blakely like turned up like randomly to like run in. A nasty bit of like a weed whacker where she like hits Chondo once or hits him twice, and he's like, fucking stop. I was like, oh my god. There's just, oh god, that like looked so ridiculous. The main event, one called Manders. This was a steel cage, wooden cage match with Manders against Sawyer Wreck. Manders wins in the end. Sawyer Wreck gets defeated. I can't remember who ran out to cost Manders the match. It might have been Ryan Redfield or somebody else came down. Basically, one called Manders has kept the H2O title and defeated Sawyer Wreck. I did think Sawyer Wreck was going to win that, but Manders wins in the end. But anyway, that was a quick little overcap of H2O's Sweet Dreams 3, which was on the 20th of May. But watch Neil Diamond Cutter against Leroy Robinson. It's very, very, very good. Then on the same night that we had XPW and NHB, I was at the Extreme Rise Rumble in Hull, the Welly. And all round Hull, meeting fucking Sam. Always good to meet Sam. Good to meet something. Fucking, who else were we speaking to? Caden was there. Darko was there. Speaking to Daniel Docherty. Speaking to everybody. Fucking really nice to meet fucking Tim Strange as well. Good to speak to the good doctor as always. Well, I was very, very, very drunk after the show by that point. This is the thing I will say is for Rise and stuff, a lot of the usual characters I was with weren't there, so I ended up drinking a lot more than I should have feasibly done, and ended up getting very, very drunk. But I did make through the whole show and then get chucked out of anywhere in it. But thanks again to Lee for giving me a lift back to the hotel, which is like 10-minute walk, but it would have probably taken me about 45 minutes in my stupor. Anyway, so first of all, at this we had like a barricade around all the fans to keep everybody safe because of obviously all the legal shite that happened. First match with B.A. Rose against Boy. B.A. Rose hit his fucking Tiger Driver fucking finish. Boy kicked out. This was a really good match. B.A. Rose hit it again on the fucking apron and then pinned Boy. Good match. They made Nina Samuels come out. I think this is basically they're going to be doing like a new like women's tournament to crown a new women's like underground champion. She was challenged by Rio, who's somebody that is well known up in fucking Scotland who wrestles for, I'm sure she's the women's champion for ICW up in Glasgow. So very, very good to see her. I think it was like a kendo stick shot and Nina Samuels rolled up Rio for the win. Then we had a 4-way where we have Gene Money, Miles' dad, Jet Marshall, and Nathan Black. The winner of this match gets a #1 contenders, well, is the new #1 contender for Saxon Huxley's Rise Championship. Basically, it was kind of started off as like a tag match with Gene Money and Nathan Black being the heels against the other two. Ended up turning into a 4-way, lots of comedy spots, lots of decent wrestling as well. In the end, fucking, I think Gene Money like hit Niles' dad or Nathan, or Jet Marshall, sorry, and then Nathan Black pushed him at the ring and then got the cover. So Nathan Black is now your #1 contender. However, he won't be having that match with Saxon at Summer Sesh because he already got that match with Big fucking Joe. Then we got 2 matches of injustice as we got the Good Doctor, the King of the North. I hope you enjoyed the fucking interview I did with the man himself. Leonardo Darwin was against Saxon Huxley. This was good. It was basically just Darwin got the shit kicked out of him, unfortunately, for fucking got slammed, hit spear after spear after spear. Super kicks, couldn't keep Saxon down. Saxon at the double fucking Chokenstein finish and won the first match. Darwin said that Saxon's dad was a cuck and that he was shagging his mum all night. We came back down, they had another match. Saxon beat him again. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then we had Joe in the crowd and Carl were there giving Darwin shit. Darwin slapped Joe in the face. Joe threw a thing of, like a glass of beer at him, and then he dragged him into the ring and was going to destroy his fucking legs with like a steel chair until Danny Doherty ran down. Fucking Darwin pedigreed Scott, the referee. Good to meet Scott as well. Always nice to meet Scott. Fucking best referee in the fucking UK, for my money. Then what else happened? Basically, he attacked, Darwin attacked Danny and said that he will give up his share of 50% of Rise because, due to all the legal things, there was a very, very funny promo on Rise's Facebook where Darwin was more or less raped by Tim Strange with a wooden like block thing. Go on Rise's Facebook to find that, it's very funny. Basically, because of all the legal shit, Darwin threw Danny under the bus, so now Danny's 50% shareholder of Rise, and Darwin says, if you want my other 50% at Summer Sesh, you're going to have to join the Darwin Kiss My Arse Club. That's how the thing ended. Good fucking times, good fucking times. Best fucking heel in the fucking world, never mind the fucking UK, Dr. Leonardo Darwin. And then we move on to the deathmatch portion. For the first deathmatch of the evening, we had Michael Caden, one of the most underrated, Iceman said it himself, one of the most underrated deathmatch wrestlers in the fucking UK, against the son of the Iceman, Jack Harrop, in a very, very, very fucking fun deathmatch. They used these gussets that I took down, these nasty, oversized fucking gussets. Both of them got them hammered into their arms. Jack fucking got hurled into a fucking chair set up in the corner in between the top and middle rope, the light tubes on it, head right through it. Fucking Caden went through a barbed wire table. Jack gave him a cactus elbow off the thing into the table. Like fucking, there's a razor blade board that Jack got slammed through. Michael Caden wins in the end. Very, very fun little match. Good to see Michael Caden goes over in the end. I'm sure they will have another rematch after that. Then we moved on to the next deathmatch of the evening as we had Darko against Clint Margera, which is a first time ever. We had lots of fucking light tubes, hurling fucking light tubes at each other's heads. Darko took some disgusting fucking chair shots to the head. I wish you wouldn't do that, man. Oh my god. There's a massive like cup can light beer board that Clint put on Darko's chest and was smacking it in with a fucking chair. In the end, I think it was, there was like a light tube log cabin was put in the ring. Clint had, Darko was at the top. Clint low blowed him and then gave him like a top rope Death Valley driver into the light tube thing. Darko basically kicked out, but like the ref, Scott, counted it for 3. Clint goes over. That was that. Very, very good match, but the finish, I was like, what the fuck's going on? But still, moving forward, we went on to the Rise Rumble, which is good to see some of guys that are never ever in Rise making their Rise debuts, such as the fucking man himself, fucking Alton Thorne. Lost my fucking shit when he came out. I did not expect him to be there. But Alton Thorne was there, Tim Strange, Jack Bennett is fucking awesome, Radu Bulat, Antonio Gonzalez, and obviously still we had Iceman, Jack, Caden, B.A. Rose. We had somebody that I think, was it Rager? Ragnar? I think Daniel Doherty said he used to be his bouncer and Sober. Who else did we have in the fucking match? Jack Bennett. I think that was pretty much it. And Darko and Clint. And I think that's 12. If I missed it anyway, I think I'm almost certain I've got everybody there. And the Iceman. So this was just a big, massive brawl. Everybody coming out with plastic boxes, nettles being shoved in Tim Strange's face. Tim Strange poured out fucking like horseshoes and metal horseshoes, and fucking Jack got slammed on them. With Jack taking a bump to the outside through fucking like Lightube structure thing, kind of reminiscent of the thing that Danny Havoc went through in NGI 1 against Matt Tremont. I think that was the idea for that one. Just a brutal match. Everybody got eliminated. In the end, it was down to the final four. The final four became a four-way death match. It was Jack, B.A. Rose, Iceman, and Caden. But good to see all these other guys getting their Rise debuts. Good to see like Alton Thorne, Jack Bennett, Antonio Gonzalez, and everything. People who I think, especially for Alton Thorne, like deserved to be in Rise a long fucking time ago, in my personal humble opinion. But then in the finals, everybody was like wrapped up in like barbed wire, the odd submissions on each other, like 4 like sleeper ankle lock submissions. Everybody tapped B Rose as the last guy who wasn't being, who was doing a submission. Nobody was making him submit, and B Rose fucking won the hardcore fucking rumble. And I believe he will go on to fight Big Joe at the next show. But then again, I don't know when the next show is going to be between August and December, for December the 1st and 2nd for God 3. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen with that, because the next show is Summer Smash. Big Joe's already got a match. There's no glass in the Brunel, so I assume there's going to be another show in between August and December. But I'm not too sure when that will be. And that is the reviews done. I have no idea how long this has fucking went thus far. This is what happens when you're busy doing all sorts of other shite and you get stuck fucking leaving everything for a month and a half. Anyway, hopefully we've all enjoyed those fucking reviews. Rise was awesome. I was a bit too drunk by the end, but then again, it's a Rise show. What do you expect? The pub next to Ellie's, very cheap by the way. But my advice for anyone, don't fucking drink brandy. If anybody thought I was drunk at the Rise show, the night after was 1,000 times fucking worse than that. So don't drink fucking brandy. I banned myself from it. Buy me beer if you see me at a show. Don't buy me brandy. Please. For the sake of my fucking sanity. Anyway, upcoming shows and other shit. XPW's Problematic is June 24th in the Derby Room, Pomona, California. This show looks awesome. I think a lot of these are like first time matches. I'm almost pretty certain they are first time matches. I can't think of a lot of these happening ever before. I'm not familiar with Bestia 666, but I'm pretty sure he's never wrestled Alex Cole. Anyway, so we've got kind of the deathmatch title, Schlack against Lou fucking Nixon. We've got Big Joe against Judge Joe Dredd, Battle of the Joes. Judge Joe Dredd has become a very big fast favourite of mine ever since that match in Masada. So that'll be fucking awesome, can't wait for that. Maga Butcher against Dirty Ron. Those 3 matches are like, you fucking take my fucking money. Rob Shit, who's got like one of the best names in wrestling. He was at Theatre Brutality 1 or 2, I think. He's against Mecha Wolf. I think Mecha Wolf's part of the La Rebellion, who are tag team champions in like AAA and like TNT in the UK, I think. And then Alex Colon against Bestia 666 in a Puerto Rican street fight. The XPW title. I'm sure there's going to be more matches announced, probably like a couple more for that. That looks insane, can't wait for that. Obviously Lou and Joe are over. Support the guys, use their promo codes. And then XPW's got another event coming up on July 29th in New York, New Jersey, the Heart Ballroom, called I Hope You Die! And Shadow WX is going to be on that show with Madman Pondo, so that'll be fucking interesting. And then we move on to ICW No Holds Barred. Just before I move into ICW No Holds Barred, I just got a little fucking blow up on my phone. And just to say that RIP to the fucking Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik has just died today. From everybody knows that he was the fucking transitional champion between like Bob Backlund and Hulk Hogan to start off the fucking Hulkamania era. Like one of the most funny, entertaining characters, hated characters in wrestling, and just beyond wrestling in like the last like fucking 10-15 years. The shoot interviews he did with like RF Video and especially kayfabe commentaries like are things of legend for the Iron Sheik, one of the most entertaining, charismatic, fucking ridiculous fucking like characters in wrestling. So RIP to him. There'll never be another Iron Sheik. That is, I did not expect to have to say that on this video, but RIP to the fucking Iron Sheik. Fucking hell. That's pretty fucking mental. I'll probably go back and watch one of those ones with New Jack and Honky Tonk. I mean, only one of them left is Honky Tonk, which is pretty sad. Anyway, ICW holds barred to try and lighten the tone, yeah. So RIP to the Iron Sheik. Fucking shame. Where are we? So NHB 47. Berwyn Eagles Club. This is in Berwyn, Illinois. Chicago show, 16th of June. We've got some show matches announced for that. Unless Matt Tremont's already got a... No, that must be for the first show. That must be for the second show. Anyway. So we've got Demanto against Shazza McKenzie over from... well, she used to wrestle in DMDU all over Australia. Nate Webb against my fucking boy, Neil Diamond Cutter. First time ever, I believe that is. That'll be good for the entrance themes. That'll be a nice quick entrance. I mean, they should have the three with them and the Sandman. The longest entrance themes of all time. We've got Tremont against Dr. Redacted, so that'll be fucking scary for everybody involved. Lufisto and Mickey Knuckles are against the Rejects. That's an insane fucking tag match. And the American Deathmatch title 4-way. Hoodfoot, Tank, Abdullah Kobayashi, and obviously Lo Nixon taken out. All the drama situation have been replaced by Cruel. Will still be a nuts 4-way. Then we've got NHB 48, which is the night after, which is the fucking 17th of June. So we have got Lufisto against Max the Impaler, Abdullah Kobayashi. I've not done this for a while. You can see my voice. I'm trying to fucking shout and speak. I'm losing my voice already. Abdullah Kobayashi against Reed Bentley. Cruel against the Kirks in a tag match. Well, sorry, a handicap match. The only thing I will say for the Cruel and the Kirks thing is this has been like one of the bigger storylines. I still wish Brandon was the champion, that we could lead to Cruel winning the title from him. A boy can dream. Then we've got Tank against the Bev. That'll be awesome. Mickey Knuckles against Dr. Redacted. Eric Ryan against Tommy Vendetta. And then I'm pretty sure, if Hoodfoot's still the motherfucking champion, him against the Bulldozer Matt Tremont as the main event of the NHB 48. Then, that afternoon, before that evening show, RPW are running As Needed for Pain. The 17th of June, we have got fucking Randy West against Remington War for the Rust Belt title. Otis Kogar against Eric Dillinger. We've got Schwartzy against John Wayne Murdoch. Hoodfoot against, who knows, it was meant to be Bill Bronson, but he's not there. Bobby Beverly against Dr. Redacted. And another 4-way, Abdullah Kobayashi. I can't even say his name. Oh, I'm going to have to cut all these out. And another 4-way for the main event, Matt Tremont, Kobayashi, Akis Kogar, and Tommy Vendetta. So that show looks fucking nuts as well in the afternoon, holy shit. Then, more NHB is PFX 17. This is the 30th of June, the TW Arena, Red Bank, Tennessee. I will be in London for SmackDown that night. Although my friends will be there for SmackDown. I'll be busy doing something else. But you'll find out more about that later on. So we've got Tank against Dr. Redacted. Gary J against Joe Black again. That'll be fucking good when they chop the fuck out of each other. Mickey Knuckles against Peyton Blair. Oh god, Mickey Knuckles going to kill her. And then Britt Ison against Sean Campbell. So that should be fucking interesting. And then NHB 49. The TW Arena, Red Bank, Tennessee, July 1st. I'll be at Money in the Bank. Woo! I'm really, really not excited. London is so expensive. Fuck my friends for getting me tickets to that. Fuck you. They'll never watch this. Fuck you. Anyway. So 2 matches for that. We've got Danny D'Amato against Jaden Newman once again. And we've got the Bev against Dr. Redacted. And then NHB 50. The big 5-0. I just done my 50th episode. They are doing their 50th NHB. July 28th in the H2O Centre, which I did think was strange. I would have thought they would have been running in the motherfucking New York fucking Heart Ballroom, but this is on a Friday, and it makes sense because the night after XPW are running the New York Heart Ballroom. So the night after this is H2O's running that, so there's more XPW, blah blah blah, more drama. Anyway, American Deathmatch title, if Hoodfoot is still the champion, is him against Lowlife Louie, which is insane for a main event. I did not expect him to do that. Like, and in the H2O building, it seems a little bit. Obviously, Lowlife Louie's a fucking legend and everything like that. I just did not expect him to do that for the main event. And then we move on to motherfucking Kumite as they had One Last Dance with Death, which will be out on IWTV as I'm speaking, possibly, or tomorrow when this show is up. So go and watch that, and I'll do a little review of that on the next show, which will be much sooner than a month and a half, just to let you know. But from the clips I saw, we had fucking Alton Thorne against Gary J, looked insane, chops on the fucking menu, Joe against Darko, 200 Lightubes, bare boards, fucking 4-way deathmatch, Lou, Clint, Tombi and Antonio Gonzalez, looked insane fucking show. But then their next show, New Blood, which I will be going to, which is Sunday, July 16th in Derby, the Vines Beer Garden. We have got Jack Bennett versus Big fucking Joe. Listen to this card. Jack Bennett against Big fucking Joe. Franco Fate against Lou Nixon. If you don't know who Franco Fate is, you'll fucking find out. Clint Margera against Tombi. Deathwolf title Darko defending against Antonio Gonzalez. And there's going to be much more as well announced for that. So that's insane. Get tickets. They are very limited as we go into this. And then just to say, this will be on the... This is on June the 17th. TNT's going off big time at the Hangar 34. We've got Big Joe against Clint Margera once again for the TNT Extreme title. Will Joe take the title this time? I think he will. We've also got the She-Wolves against Harley Hudson and Lizzie Evo. And we've got the TNT title as Charles Crowley defends against Leon Slater, who's the champion that he beat and stole his title basically. But I mean, fair's fair. I mean, he did have a contract for it. And then also TNT's Thrill Kill tournament, which has now been moved from Birmingham, I think it was in, to now it's going to be back in Liverpool, their home base at Hangar 34, which is, I don't know why it was moved, it was like logistical reasons, but who knows, a bit strange, but whatever. Still going to be in Hangar 34, still a deathmatch tournament. We've got Tombi, B.A. Rose, Joey Janela, Michael Caden, hopefully we get Caden against Janela, that'd be sick, and Emerson Jane. And we've also got another random match announced for that, is Gene fucking Money is against Gangrel. And this is the, where is my Kumite page? So this is on the, this is on the 15th of July, I think this is the day before the Kumite show. So I believe I'll hopefully be at Thrill Kill, but I'll definitely be at Kumite. Then, GCW, a quick little thing about them, because GCW have just had their deathmatch weekend thing, so now they've got their tours that they're doing in the summer, and basically means they'll be doing a lot less deathmatch related type stuff. There'll be a lot less of me talking about them. GCW's Japan tour, basically July 18th to the 20th. So far, basically, we had all these people running at COS, attacked Hirata and Segura, Masha, Sawyer, Siglo Pay, Medio Extremo, Gringo Loco, Johnny Murdoch, and I think Jimmy Lloyd ran down and attacked them all. So they're basically the guys that are going to be going over to Japan. And then we have Rise. So just as I said, God 3 is now going to be December 1st and 2nd. Not just the NHB, but somebody else from a different country turning up. Alluded to by Danny O'Doherty on that. So, not sure what's going on there. Maybe a Japanese talent? Maybe Australian? Who fucking knows? And then we've got Summer Sesh, which is in the Brunel Social Club August 5th. Get your fucking tickets for that. Nathan Black, obviously announced against Big fucking Joe. And then, this weekend, before I finish this up, before I lose my voice, we've got H2O's 7-year anniversary shows. So where the fuck are we? So we've got the first fucking night. We've got Lucky 13 Kennedy Copeland. We've got Red Dead Redemption against Sawyer Wreck and Ron Bass Jr. Randy West against Jess Moss. Jimmy Lloyd against Declan Grant, Anything Goes. Mouse against Neil Diamond Cutter, Last Man Standing. Also got Matt Tremont against Brogan Finley, Billy Starks against Austin Luke, and then, finally, the 7-year anniversary, where we've got Ron Bass against Rico Gonzalez, Billy Starks, Ryan Redfield, one called Manders defends his title against Ryan Redfield, against Gigi Everson. We got Brandon Kirk, Bam Sullivan, Marcus Mathers for the hardcore, Danny Havoc hardcore title, Austin Luke, Brogan Finley. And we have also got the main event, 700 Lightube deathmatch between my boy Neil fucking Diamond Cutter and Matt fucking Tremont. So that is motherfucking insane. Anyway, sorry it's taken so long for this video to come out. This has been the news that broke glass. RIP to the fucking Iron Sheik. RIP to Brian Dixon. And on Friday this week, this will be up tonight, Wednesday. On Friday this week, in 2 days' time, I have a very big, fucking, fat, disgusting, juicy announcement. and you will find out then what it is. Anyway, the news that broke last, episode 50. 51 will have a different intro video and all sorts of crap. You'll find all that out soon. Anyway, no deathmatch, no life. Save the life.